people? So today is another Cwoffee talk. It is a tutorial on this look right here on my face. It's a full tutorial, full talk through, so it's probably going to be a long one, so you better grab a cup of coffee and a snack. So I got inspiration from this look from the makeup that JLo had on at the Oscars. It was super light and airy, and I don't know why I said airy, but that's like the only thing that I can think to describe her makeup is just really light and airy and pretty. And oh, BT dubs. This eye is like watering balls, so let's just ignore that. But anyways, yeah, her makeup was super pretty. It was all pink and girly, and normally when I do tutorials, it's super full, heavy glam. So I figured what a better day to do this one, because I am having like a mother-son day with my little bubbas, and I'm probably going to be just like taking him out to dinner and taking him to Chuck E. Cheese, and who the hell wants to go to Chuck E. Cheese in full glam? Not this girl. So, even though I do have lashes on, but you know. So anyways, if you guys like this look that I got going on here on my face, then definitely keep watching, and yeah, we're gonna go and do this. Let's do it. Alright y'all, let's get into this. So I got my tea break. I should start calling these tea talk, but then it wouldn't be, you know, reminiscent of Cwoffee talk, you know. So here's the deal. I had a couple of requests to do like a tutorial from the Steel of Mine palette, and then I had a request to do the look that I was wearing in my January favorites, and I will be doing that, I promise. However, tonight I'm having like a mother-son night. Like Tim's going out with one of his friends, so I'm gonna take Aiden out, like take him out to supper, and probably go to Chuck E. Cheese or some shit like that. So I didn't really want to go like a full board glam just to go to fucking Chuck E. Cheese, because I've been looking a little weird up in a Chuck E. Cheese. Mamas will be staring at me. So what I'm gonna do is this isn't like, you know, a replica of the look that JLo had at the Oscars. This is more of like an inspired look. So we're gonna do like really light, pretty pink colors on the eyes, really light makeup. Yeah, so let's just get into it. So I've already moisturized my face, and I'm gonna use my Makeup Forever HD primer to avoid all those to avoid my foundation doing all those creasy old things that it likes to do. So my favorite foundation combination lately has been my Calvin Klein All Day Perfection Face Makeup. I did a review and demo on this, which I will link below if you haven't seen. And then my L'Oreal True Match in W1. This is in the color 300 Sand, and it's like my tanning shade, which is sad that the third color in the range is my summer shade, but you know, anyways. And I told you guys in my haul that I got this to kind of mix with other foundations. These two together are like amazing. I freaking love it. Love the coverage, love the finish, love everything about it. So I'm just gonna mix these two together and then slap it on my face. So I'm just going to blend that in using my Sigma F80. I prefer my Makeup Geek foundation stippling brush, but it's hella dirty right now, so this will just have to do. This isn't a bad brush. I like it. I just like my Makeup Geek one better because it's a lot denser, so I think it gives me a little bit fuller coverage because I can stipple it a little bit better. And then I'm just going to take what's left from the back of my hand and, you know, do that thing I do. Do a second layer over my acne spots and stuff like that. And I'm just going to tap that in with my finger. See how that just gives like a really pretty finish? It's just like a super subtle glow, and not so glowy that, you know, it's like emphasizing things, but just makes your skin look really fresh, and I loves it. Now I'm going to go ahead and spray my face with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray and Set. The cap on here is from my Urban Decay D-Slick because I didn't really like the sprayer that came with it. It was a little cray. Once that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and set it with my MAC MSF in Light Plus. I'm not going to use my velour puff like I usually do. I'm just going to use a really fluffy brush just because I want some of that glow to kind of shine through. And MAC MSF is a really good powder for that, but using the puff is just going to take any type of, you know, kind of dewiness from my skin, because that's more of like a full coverage application, you know. So I'm just going to really lightly dust the powder just to set everything down, make sure it stays in place. Now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and tackle this off camera. I do have a brow video, which I will link below, on how I tackle this. But it takes forevsies. I swear to God, I feel like my brows take longer than anything else on my face takes. But I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and then I'll be right back. Okay, brows are about as good as they're going to get. For concealer today, I'm going to mix these two. This one's the Lorac Perfection Concealer. It's kind of a newer one, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit too not as like brightening as I want it to be, so I'm just going to mix this in with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and then both of that in. So this one's the Lorac one, and this is fair. See how like really yellow it is? But I got a lot of redness going on right now, so I guess the yellow will, you know, tone that down a bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw this NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer on top of that. So what up, y'all? What y'all been doing? Who is like seriously over this fucking weather already? Like, I can't take it anymore. I live in Ohio and I am like seriously freaking over it. Just going to blend that in with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, I think is what it's called. You know, the Real Techniques sponge. And in case you guys were wondering like why it's all weird and lopsided, sometimes I get lazy because I'm a human, and I will just take and spray it. If I don't feel like going downstairs and like wringing it out and washing it out, I'll just spray it with like facial spray. I have like an e.l.f. Facial spray or something, and I will just like spray, and then like I'll do spray like that, and then I'll squeeze it, and you know, it works, but it's gross, I know, but you know, I'm human, so I don't feel like doing things sometimes, so I don't. So that doesn't look too bad. They're both like full coverage concealers. The NARS one can be really, like, I do like the NARS one under my eyes, but I have to use a beauty blender because it is very, very thick. But I hear people talk all the time how they can't use it under their eyes because of creasing and whatnot. But I've never had a problem with it creasing before. I actually think it's really good for under the eyes because it stays in place. My problem with under eye concealers is if they are too drying, they make my under eyes look like really dehydrated and, you know, old and crusty. But I never have a problem with creases. As many fucking lines as I got under my eyes, you'd think they'd be creasing like a mofo, but I don't have a problem with it because I don't put a ton of concealer under there. I feel like sometimes people just use too much concealer under their eyes, and unless you have dark circles, you really don't need to use that much, especially if you're using like a full cover one. Like, I see so many people using MAC Pro Longwear and just piling it on, and that's full coverage. Like, you really don't need all that, you know, with a full coverage concealer. But that's just my opinion. I mean, if they like it that way, that's on them, but you know. Just saying, that's probably why you got some crazy old creases going on. Just try to use a little bit less. If you have dark circles, try to use a corrector before you use a concealer, because you can use a corrector and then use a brightener on top of it, and you'll be good to go. Now that that's done, I went ahead and blended some of that over my eyes, so I don't think I need to use a primer. I don't really have like super crazy oily eyelids or anything. In my Steel of Mine palette, I'm just going to grab the lightest color, just this color here. And I'm just going to set that concealer. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys too, in case, what is on my eyebrow? In case you were curious, I have been using the NYX Conceal, Correct, and Contour palette, the yellow concealer for under, like to carve out my eyebrows with, for under my eyebrows, and it's awesome. It makes like such a good highlight, and then you don't even have to like highlight under your brows, especially if you're in like a big ass hurry. I have been loving it. So I'm just going to take this white shade and just kind of sloppily dust it and set that concealer just to make sure we don't have any creasing problems or anything. So the first eyeshadow I'm going to grab is, well, I guess it's not the first one, second, you know. Y'all know what I'm saying. I'm going to grab my Makeup Forever M856 and just real lightly dust that into the crease. And that white shadow will kind of tone that down a little bit too, because this is a pretty bright pink. I never thought I would use this, but I'm actually starting to like it. Once that's on and blended, I'm going to go into Nectar from my, can you tell I love this color, from my Lorac Pro 2 palette. And I'm going to just kind of dust that over that, because that was like a super, super cool toned pink. And if you guys don't have like all these colors, you can just use blushes. Like if you have like pink blushes and pinky peach blushes, like using different tones of blushes will totally work too. J-Lo had this, what she had going on was like a really warm tone pink eye, and then she had like a cool tone pink lip, which I'm not really going to like super replicate, but we're going to do something along those lines. So if that makes, you know, any kind of sense at all. Just dusted that around kind of really sloppily just to warm it up a little bit, and then I'm going to go back with that brush that I had the white shadow on from the Mime palette, and I'm going to go right over top of that and just really, really fade that out. That way we have like a really pretty blend and a really pretty kind of faded out, almost just like a wash of color rather than like color, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to grab this blush by Milani called Romantic Rose, and this is more of a rose, pretty much. I don't know how else to explain it. And I'm just going to take that on a 217, and I'm going to dust it right in this outer corner here. Once that's on, I'm going to grab Makeup Geek's Cocoa Bear, just a very, very little bit of it, just to add a little bit of definition, so that way it's not completely like pink on pink on pink, pink on pink on pink, you know what I mean? So that way we got a little bit of definition and a little more depth going on in the outer corner. So I'm going to take that Cocoa Bear and just basically do what I did with the rose colored blush, but just a lot lower and a lot lighter pressure. And because this has like those, you know, super warm kind of red tones in it, it's going to correlate really well with that pink. See how that just gave it a little bit of definition without going too crack. So on the lid, J-Lo had like a really pretty like rose gold type pinky color. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Rose from my Lorac Pro 2. And I'm just going to take it on a Real Techniques base shadow brush, just because she had just like a wash of color rather than like an intense foiled metallic type color, you know what I mean? So if you use like a flat stiff brush, it's going to give you that really intense metallic shine, but if you use a little bit of a fluffier brush like this, it's just going to be like a wash of color. And I'm just staying right on the lid below the crease with that. Then I'm going to grab that 217 that had the Cocoa Bear on it, and just whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to take and blend that through, so that way you don't have like that choppy separation of color. For the lower lash line, I'm going to grab that rose blush again, and this is a Crown. I have no clue because it's rubbed off. It wasn't like indented in it, but looks like that y'all can use whatever, you know, brush you have, you know, like we do. So I'm going to grab that rose color, And I'm just going to dust that right on the lower lash line. And if you are using blushes for this, you want to make sure you're using more warmer tone blushes for this, because once you delve over into like that icy cool pink, it's going to make you look a little bit sickly if you're going all the way around the eyes with it. So you want to stay kind of in that warmer, you know, kind of almost mauve-y type colors, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to take the other side of that brush and dip that into Cocoa Bear. Again, this one right here, because this side's a pencil brush. And I'm just going to do that one real close to the lashes. Then I'm going to grab my Makeup Geek pencil brush and go into Shimma Shimma by Makeup Geek and just use that to highlight the inner corner. Now I'm going to go ahead and tightline and just put a really thin line at the base of my lashes. Not going to go for any kind of crazy bold wings. She didn't have one going on. It was just basically lined at the lash line to show definition. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. All I did for liner was just tight lined with the black liner and then just took my Kat Von D Trooper liner and just kind of stamped it at the base of my lashes. Just so that way we have like some definition, because we are going to be putting on false lashes. So now I'm going to move to the rest of the face because I did use a kohl liner, so I want to give it a minute to set before I go to curl them and like mess around up there, because sometimes it can tend to like smudge and get all crazy when I do that. So let's go on and move on to the rest of the face. So for bronzer, I'm going to use my NYX contour palette. I've actually really been enjoying this. It is kind of expensive for a drugstore palette. I might do a review on it, but I haven't decided yet. So I'm just taking this color here and I'm just going to really lightly basically just add warmth to my face. I'm not going to do any kind of contour or anything like that. J-Lo didn't really have like any kind of crazy contour going on. She just had like really light definition, just kind of a perimeter warming, if you will. So that's what we're going to do. For blush, I'm going to use the same blush that we used on our eyes, which is the Romantic Rose by Milani. I freaking love these little flower blushes. Still have not been able to find coral, but I am on a mission. See how freaking pretty these are? Like, could you die? The one in Tea Rose is my favorite, and I get a little crazy with it, but, you know, who doesn't get crazy with their blush? Am I right? No? Okay. Oh, my eye is watering, and it's like going crazy. This eye has been watering like all freaking day. I even had to wait to do this tutorial. I went to lunch with my son earlier, so I already had makeup on, and then I wanted to take it off so that way I could film this. And before I took it off, my eye was just like hellaciously watering, and then it stopped for a while, and I was like, oh dope, I can do it now. And now it's starting again. So if it looks like, you know, just pay attention to this eye, basically is what I'm trying to say. For highlighter, I'm going to use my MAC Soft and Gentle, just very lightly. Where's my little brush? Where's my little brush? I've been using the Real Techniques Duo Fiber Brush for highlighting just because it puts very little product on, and y'all know I'm not like super crazy about highlighter. I'm super specific as to where I place that highlighter. So I'm just going to stick it just barely at the tops of the cheekbones. This is more of like a pinky tone champagne, Soft and Gentle is, so it'll tie really well with what we got going on. Get the tip of the nose, top of the cupid's bow. Get that real well. That way it makes us look all sweaty. Glowy, I mean, just kidding. Alright, so once that's all done, now we can curl our lashes and go in with some mascara. For mascara, I'm going to use the CoverGirl Full Lash Bloom. This has been my favorite mascara lately. I cannot get enough of this. I don't know what it is. Like, I just seriously love this mascara. I swear, my lashes are getting like so freaking long from this serum. I swear I'm doing a video. I've said it in like 8 different videos, but I'm going to do a video on it, I swear. The only problem is that I'm so stupid. The before picture I took was like me going like this, and then the after picture is like me going like this, but my lashes are blonde, so you can't really tell. So I'm trying to go through some of my old pictures when I didn't have false lashes on and kind of do a comparison. You know what I mean? So like the before will be me without false lashes, like, you know, like this. And then the after will be the same, like me without false lashes with just mascara on. I'm telling you guys, this shit is crazy. And it ain't a sponsored product. It's just something my friend passed along to me. But for lashes, I'm going to use these little section lashes by EcoTools. Is this not the most creepiest packaging of life? Like, I don't know what it is that creeps me out about their packaging, but like the lady with the eye, I don't know if you guys can see it. The lady with the eyes, like, I don't know, it just freaks me out. Alrighty then, the lashes are applied. Very Chuck E. Cheese appropriate. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to lips. J-Lo had like this super cool tone pink lip. Like I said before, she had like really warm tone pink eyes and then like a cool tone pink lip, but I'm not really down for cool tones, as y'all know. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of go in between and use Cream Cup by MAC, which is like my all-time favorite pink lipstick of life, of everything. So I'm just going to apply that, no lip liner or anything. This is just, you know, super cash, super Chuck E. Cheese. What? I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Alright you guys, that is it. This is the finished look. Please don't mind my left eye. It's the right eye to you, but the left eye to me. It's freaking watering balls now. I freaking hate that. You guys seriously do not realize how many tutorials that I film and something crazy will happen, like my eyes will start watering, mainly my eyes watering, or like the dog. One day I was filming a tutorial and my dog puked in the corner and it was insanity, and then it stunk and I had to clean it, and by the time I was done cleaning it I was like, I can't even touch my face because I just had to clean dog puke up. That happened. So anyways, if you guys like coffee talks, definitely give me a thumbs up so I know to keep on doing them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you have not. Y'all can follow me on Instagram or Twitter if you please, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.